This might be the most important video I ever make, so if you or anyone you know has ever been affected by narcissistic abuse or had the legal system used as a way of abuse, I need your help. I need you to watch this video and like and share it and repost it and get as much attention to it as possible, because we are in an unprecedented time in human history where narcissistic abuse and the awareness around narcissistic abuse is rising rapidly. And there's never been a better time to bring change for people who have suffered from this type of abuse and to prevent people from having to suffer from it in the future. I'm calling to implement a trauma-informed protocol because when I went through this experience, I saw where the system failed real victims of false allegations. That you don't have to have narcissistic personality disorder to make false allegations, but when somebody with NPD makes false allegations, they are manipulative from a spiritual level. So it's fair that police might get it wrong. And like these people with narcissistic personality disorder, they're so good at what they do that they can manipulate even the best doctors and psychiatrists. So how can we expect the police to be able to catch it? So when these protocols send up red flags and incites an investigation under that protocol, and they realize they got it wrong, this protocol would absolve the police of any responsibility, because nobody is exempt from this type of manipulation. You don't know when it's happening. It's like they put a hex on people. As a child, they created fantasies in order to protect themselves, and this became a fundamental basis for their way of thinking, where they never identified the difference between fantasy and reality, so it's all the same to them. And when somebody's telling you a story that they believe is reality, they will pull you into their delusion to where you believe them wholeheartedly. And they can do this. This can happen to police too. And this is how lives can be, destroyed so quickly and so cruelly, because when you have somebody who is already delusional and you consider their word 100% credible, you give them a free ticket to just create whatever reality they feel like making for whoever they need to take out, and have it backed by the legal system. And that's insanity. That's like the Canadian government. They just make up whatever they want and have it signed by the courts, and they can just commit horrible crimes and get away with it. And a protocol like this would have stopped that. In my situation, I had just got married and just returned from our honeymoon, and on this honeymoon I had finally stood up for myself. I've been watching them lie to everyone about me, but then I also was watching them say how much they love me and want to be with me and forever, and they just married me. So I'm thinking, if there's ever a time to create equality in this relationship, now is the time. And I demanded accountability. So when we returned from this honeymoon, I believed that they were going to take full accountability. And that's, to me now, looking back, I was totally out of touch with reality, because after all the work they've put into removing your credibility, it's insane to think that was actually going to happen. So when somebody conditions you to believe that they love you, but you're also watching them lie about you to other people, and acting in ways that only somebody who would hate you would act, it makes you believe that this is your fault, and you feel like you're nothing without them. So when they use tactics like stonewalling, you feel like you're dying, because you think you're nothing without this person, and all of a sudden they're ignoring you. You go into a frenzy, and they can use this to assert complete control over you, and also at any given point they can create a situation where you show up looking like you're crazy, and that would give them tons of narcissistic supply, because everyone sees how crazy their partner is. When we return from this honeymoon, and I go from thinking we've turned a new leaf and we're going to have equality in this relationship again, this is a brand new start for us, and then shortly after they're stonewalling me and not responding, and like my intuition is screaming at me like something bad is happening. Like, part of me knew that she would never take accountability, but the cognitive dissonance wouldn't let me see that until it started happening. But then also at the same time, the part of me that believed that they love me was saying maybe they've been in an accident, like maybe they need your help. So I drive out to where I assumed they were, and there's a police officer parked on the road, not just up the road from their place, and he tries to pull me over. So right in this moment, I'm in total fight or flight mode. My nervous system is telling me either my life is in danger of them destroying me, or their life is in danger and something bad has happened. But in either one of those scenarios, I wanted the police there with me. Like, this is whatever's happening is a big emergency and it's bad and I need your help. So I put on my four ways. I didn't stop. I motioned them to follow me up the road to this property where I pulled in, and the plan to destroy me had already been initiated. And I pull in looking like a crazed maniac trying to chase down his victim while being chased by the police. And from this point forward, there was nothing I could say that would ever change the way that it looked. It didn't matter. I was not listened to. Like, and it also gave them a free ticket to whatever they wanted to say, however they wanted to paint it. They were believed, and it was taken as fact and believed. And a trauma-informed protocol like this would raise red flags through the police investigation. Like, you can't expect the police to know what's going on when it happens, but through further investigating under this protocol, they would have noticed, like, when I was driving out there, I was sending text messages because I was in cognitive dissonance about what was happening. So my messages are bouncing back and forth between, are you okay? Has something happened? To, how could you destroy me? Why are you trying to destroy me? And that's obviously appears are dysregulated and crazy. But with this trauma-informed training and information, they would realize this is a trauma response. But they would also see that a victim who is afraid of their abuser coming after them and they're in fear for their life, they would, and their abusers texting them, and like they would be doing anything they could to calm their abuser and create a safe distance. And they'd be saying, it's okay, I'll be home in 20 minutes, but this victim was like outright stonewalling and like ignoring every message, right? Like, they didn't even say, the police are here, don't come here. They didn't say anything like that. They didn't do anything that an abused or traumatized victim would do. But more things would happen after that this protocol would have caused many red flags to go up about. Like, a truly traumatized and abused victim, first of all, they become victims because, like, they love their abusers. That's how they become victims in the first place. So they have an intense guilt around reporting their abuser's abuse. They have guilt about sending their abusers to jail. They would not be calling the police dozens and dozens of times, reporting any possible thing that they can get their abuser with. They wouldn't be stalking their social media and then reporting everything that their abuser says that might be in reference to them to try to claim that it's them sending a message. They wouldn't be doing those things. And this type of protocol it takes information that we know about trauma and about abusers and about victims, and uses that information to identify when a victim or an abuser is behaving in a way that we know victims and abusers don't behave. The moment I pulled in and realized what they were saying, or was told what they were saying, I knew that they baited me right into this. And I thought to myself, like, if they were really afraid of me, like, why wouldn't they have, like, said or done something to prevent me to come out here? Like, they were trying to get me to come out here. What their story turned into that day, the police told me that I would have been looking at 20 to 30 years in the penitentiary if their claims were factual and there was any evidence to substantiate it, which there wasn't. There was tons of evidence that went against it. And that's another thing, like, should have